Good Erev Shabbos, my friends. We've all heard the tragic news out of Israel in Meron. So many lives lost, so much pain and so much difficulty. What was supposed to be a celebration, it was supposed to be a day that is a shtickle yontif. After a period of mourning, we mourn now for 32 days. The Talmidei Rabbi Akiva, the students of Rabbi Akiva who died, and then all of a sudden we have a Lag BaOmer. And it's supposed to be some sort of reprieve, joy that comes after the Avelos. And it was not meant to be. And we had a year-long of mourning after this COVID pandemic. And all of a sudden now they're telling us, okay, things are getting better. You can start to go outside. You start to see one another again. And all of a sudden we're confronted with this tragedy. And there's just nothing to say. It doesn't make any sense. And I was thinking about Rabbi Akiva, because Rabbi Akiva knew tragedy. He understood the loss of 24,000 students, and he understood that there was really no way for us to deal with that kind of loss. There were no words. Aaron HaKohen, this our Parsha, he's grappling with the deaths of his sons, Nadav Avihu, in a time when Klal Yisrael was supposed to be celebrating. It was like a Lag BaOmer. They're supposed to be celebrating the inauguration of the temple, the greatest celebration in history. And instead, he's dealing with personal and national grief. What do? How do you salvage those two diametrically opposed emotions? How do you deal with the Evel and the Sason, the joy and the pain, the suffering? And Rabbi Akiva's response is an interesting one, because it's notably different from the response that is that of Aaron. Aaron is silent in the face of tragedy. Vayidom Aharon. Rabbi Akiva doesn't talk about how to understand this tragedy. Instead, he's focused on the future. Rabbi Akiva's mindset is, it's forbidden, asur li'isyayish, it's forbidden to ever give up hope. The Gemara Makos tells us that when he sees the foxes on Har HaBayis, of Chavdal and Beis, he's the only one of his cohort who is laughing, because he's remembering the nevuah of the future, the nevuah of the rebuilding of the temple, that just as the foxes represent destruction, the temple will be rebuilt. Rabbi Akiva in the Gemara in Yevamos is the one who comes to the south, and after losing 24,000 students, he gives smichi, teaches 5 more students, including Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Elazar and Shammah. And he perpetuates the continuity, the sacred chain of Torah. Because asur li'isyayish, because you can't give up. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, when he has to think about the death of Rabbi Akiva, the Gemara tells us that Hashem shows him a vision of Rabbi Akiva teaching Torah that was so beyond even Moshe's comprehension. And then he watches the schar, the reward of Rabbi Akiva, being punished to death by the Romans. And he says, Zu Torah v'zu scharo. This is his Torah and this is his reward. How does it match up? Kadosh Baruch Hu says, Shtok, be quiet. Because the role of the Jew is not to necessarily comprehend tragedy, but rather to think forward, to think about what will be tomorrow. For so many mourning now, for so many are sick, we have to daven. We have to reach out, we have to donate if we can, if there are campaigns for Hatzalah. Whatever is going to emerge, we have to give, and we have to think about them, and we have to improve our midos, and all of that is great. But there also is a tomorrow. And know that yes, eventually this pandemic does end. Eventually we come together the way we're supposed to. Eventually there will be hope reignited, and we will see the kind of celebration that we hoped we would have had already. May Hashem heal the wounds. May Hashem give nechama and comfort to the family of the bereaved. And may we as Klal Yisrael come together in joy very soon. Shabbat Shalom, Besorot Tovot.